Hey everyone, this is Ben with RegisteredNurseRN.com, and in this video I'm going to tell you about surgical technologists. And I'm going to give you the job overview, some of the education requirements, the likes and the dislikes of this profession, and then I'll tell you some detailed salary statistics so you can know exactly how much money these individuals make on average. So let's get started. What is a surgical technologist? Well, you may have heard these individuals referred to by a lot of different names. Some people will call them scrubs techs, some people surgical assistants. You may even have heard them referred to as operating room techs. So a lot of different names basically refer to the same profession, and simply stated, these individuals assist with surgical operations. And I'm going to give you a list of some of the daily tasks these individuals will do. Some of those include preparing operating rooms for surgery by sterilizing the room, sterilizing equipment, and stocking supplies. They will also prepare patients for surgery by washing and disinfecting incision sites. They will also position the patient on operating room tables and apply sterile drapes. Another thing is they will hand instruments and supplies to the surgeon. They will hold organs in place sometimes and even prepare specialized equipment like robotic surgery equipment or lasers and specialized equipment like that. They will also bandage wounds once the surgery is complete. They will count supplies like sponges and instruments and things like that. And then finally, they will transport lab specimens for analysis and transport patients to recovery rooms once the surgery is complete. So that's a little bit about a day in the life in a surgical tech. Now, what are the education requirements if you want to enter this profession? Well, generally speaking, you're going to have a high school diploma or GED first, and then you can become a surgical tech in a couple of different ways. You can do it through a certificate program, a diploma program, or through an associate's degree program. Now, it takes about 9 months to a year on the low end, up to about 2 years if you go through the associate's degree program route. And you can get a diploma or certificate sometimes offered directly through a hospital program, or if you go through an associate's degree program, you're going to go through a technical school or community college for those. And you want to make sure you go through an accredited program. Now, once you complete your education requirements, you can become certified, and that can help you in your job prospects. One designation you can go through is the Certified Surgical Tech, the CST certification, and that is offered through the National Board of Surgical Technology and Surgical Assisting. Another route is through Tech and Surgery-Certified, and that is the NCCT, the National Center for Competency Testing. So there's a couple different routes you can become certified, and again, that can help your job prospects. Okay, now let's talk about the likes and the dislikes of this profession. And one thing that most surgical technologists will tell you that they like about their job is that they find the surgeries extremely fascinating to observe. And if you can just imagine all the different surgical procedures that you will witness as a surgical tech, and it's really interesting to watch. Your heart can pound, you can feel a rush of adrenaline as a surgeon is just trying very carefully to go around certain tissues and maybe remove some organs and things like that. So it's a very fascinating job. Another thing is that it gives you great experience in the healthcare industry. A lot of individuals will start out as surgical techs. They will love their job, but they'll decide to go even further. They may go back to school to become a nurse or a doctor. So it's a great entry-level position into the healthcare profession. Another thing is that the salaries are pretty competitive, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, but you can earn a pretty competitive salary, especially considering that you only have to go to school for about 1 to 2 years. So that's another perk. Now, what about the dislikes? What do these individuals dislike about their job? Well, for one thing, you have to stand on your feet for almost the entire shift. And that is one thing that some people will complain about, that it can be very exhausting just standing up the whole day. So if you plan on going into this profession, you want to get some really good shoes with some foam inserts and maybe even some of those compression stockings. Another thing is that you don't have a lot of break time. I mean, if you think about it, you're in the middle of surgery, so if you have to use the bathroom or if you get hungry, you just have to wait until the surgery's over in most cases. Another thing is that surgeons can sometimes be rude. Of course, there's a lot of nice surgeons out there too, but if you have a really rude surgeon that you have to work with on a regular basis, that can be frustrating. And then finally, sometimes the hours can be a little bit hectic. It is surgery, so sometimes things are a little unpredictable. Sometimes you may have to be on call and things like that. So that's a little bit about that. Now let's talk about some salary statistics and job numbers. First off, all these numbers that I'm getting ready to talk to you about come directly from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That is the government agency that collects and records jobs data, and it's accurate as of 2014. So in 2014, there were 99,800 surgical techs in the United States. 70% of those individuals worked in hospitals, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics predicted 15% growth in this profession between years 2014 and 2024, so that's good. There is expected to be room for growth and jobs in this profession over the next decade. And what about the average salary? Well, in the United States, surgical techs earned an average salary of $45,010 or $21.64 per hour. Now, those are just averages. You may make more or you may make less depending on the number of years of experience you have, the state in which you live, the industry in which you work. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those factors right now. What was the industry with the highest employment level for surgical techs? Well, general, medical, and surgical hospitals came in at number 1. The average salary there, $44,620. Offices of physicians came in at number 2. $45,730 was the average salary there. And then outpatient care centers, number 3, $46,090 was the average there. What about the top paying industries for this profession? Well, home health care services came in at number 1, $62,420. Colleges and professional schools came in at number 2, $53,130. And then offices of other health practitioners came in at number 3, $52,460 was the average there. Now, what about the top paying states? Well, Nevada came in at number 1, $57,500 was the average in that state. The District of Columbia came in at number 2, $57,170 was the average there. And then California came in at number 3, $57,140 was the average there. And the lowest paying states, Alabama came in at number 1, $33,350. Mississippi, number 2, $35,140, and West Virginia, number 3, $35,900. And if you want to see the salary statistics for all 50 states, I will put a link in the description of this video below. That will take you to an article on our website, and I have all 50 states listed and a few other statistics there, so you may want to check that out. So that's a little bit about surgical techs. I want to thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. It's free.